Welcome back to the bench. Today we have another C64 in need of rescue. I picked this up on eBay a few days ago. The number 6 key is completely broken. A few of the other keys have scuffs and scrapes. This is very yellowed. And in fact, I'm not even sure this is one case. This might actually be two. Who knows? There's some writing on the back here. I'm not sure what that says. If anything. Eric, maybe? No. Looks like EVIC. Evic? Who knows? It's got two switches on here. Presumably one's a reset switch. This one. And this, I have no idea what it is. This is a great big clunking switch. So, I don't know whether there's something in here, like a kernel switch or anything. This one was made in the old Dart, made in England. So it doesn't turn on. It's a black screen. I tested it with my known good power supply. I did test the power supply that came with it, and the voltages on that are fine, but obviously mine's been rebuilt, so I trust that a lot more than an unknown one. So, without further ado, let's get the cover off and see what we've got inside. Well, that's not a Commodore screw. I know Commodore were famed for using whatever was available, but I don't think it stretched putting different screws in one machine. These are got silver screws in, which don't want to come out. There we go. So, yeah. That one doesn't want to come out. It'll come out in a second. So, let's see what we've got. Okay, we've got some wires, additional wires. Okay, so we can't lift the keyboard straight out until we see that's what. Okay, so we've got this push button, which is detached. Jeez, this is a big thick wire. It looks like they tried to solder it directly onto the user port, so completely making the user port unusable for anything else. Clever. Okay, and this other big switch, yeah, it goes to the cartridge port, which is strange, and it's not even really connected properly. And it's going to pin 1 and pin 4. So I'm not sure what that's all about. But for certain, we're going to be getting rid of these. So let's just crop that off. Seize up the iron. Okay. Keyboard out of the way. We've got this crappy cardboard shield, and this is board 250425. Okay, I don't think I have one of these boards. It's got just a single metal shroud on there for the SID chip, so we'll get rid of that thing. Okay, half the screws seem to be missing out of the that hold down the PCB. For some reason he's got two on this side. Are there two screws that side? Who knows? Let's get the board out. Oh yeah, one screw might be to hold the bracket on, won't it? Okay, is that all of them? Or does that one have to come off too? Yep, that one has to come out too. Ah, so the other one didn't have to come out. Okay. Put that on Fleabay. The underside of the case looks not too bad. Some dust bunnies. It seems like most of the mounting points are intact, so that's a good thing. I'll just take this off. See, there's nothing in getting it bent. Oops. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just remove that the SID chip, because yeah, if there is anything wrong with this machine, I don't want to blow up the SID chip if I can avoid it, because these are hard to come by. I have no idea whether this chip works, so this could be an exercise in futility if this is already goosed. That over there. So the SID chip is the only one that is socketed. Okay, yes. So no empty RAM for this one. Jesus, look at the mess of that cartridge port there. We'll get that crap off, and we'll get these loose wires off, because these could be causing a short and could be stopping our system from booting. Somebody made a half-hearted attempt to solder those on. That's that gone. That is kind of soldered to itself by the looks of it, but not to the actual pin. So whoever did this wasn't terribly good at soldering. I'm surprised this even worked. Maybe that's why I now have it, because it didn't work. Make sure we get those bits of metal out of there. Don't want those shorting anything. One's loose, the other one, that's it, is still kind of half soldered onto itself. I'm getting in there with the cutters. Gotcha. So that's the cartridge port cleared of crap. Right, see if we can melt this. Oh, it didn't really even, wasn't even really stuck on there. Did it take part of the pad off? No, it's just tinned it a little bit. Let's get some flux on there and see if we can get that other bit reflowed and off of there. That's looking better. Probably need to get some wick or something on there, which I don't have at the moment. I'm all out of solder wick, just to clear that off, make sure it doesn't cause any problems. There's a few bodges on this board, some diodes hooked over there. Let's have a look on the underside of the board. Oh, it's got the old solder on there. So this must be a relatively early-ish board. There's no obvious signs of rework, although there is a lot of old flux residue from the factory, which is to be expected. Right, let's see about getting this thing off. Oh, Jesus, that was soldered on well. Might as well just bend this until it snaps because I'm not going to be putting it back on. Throw that on eBay. Okay, so yeah, we just got the one chip solution there. What's the date code on these chips? 1985. So it's not one of the really early ones. 13 week 85, 16 week of 85. Okay, let's just quickly plug it in and then go see if we get any life, and if not, we get the scope out. Now that those, no, it's BBC RGB. There we go. C64. Okay. And contact. It's definitely getting the signal, but completely black screen. Let's just try dead test. It went green, then white, and then we're getting flashes. Just a single flash. It's getting a little bit warm. Wowza. Yeah, I think we found our problem. That PLA is getting really hot, and I mean out to burn. So looks like I've got my second dead PLA in a row. Although this one is a lot easier to replace because it's the 28-pin dip package. So I'm going to fire up the desoldering station, and I am going to get rid of this. So that's our old PLA out, and I have another C64 I have here that has a socketed PLA chip, which is the same one, so I can pop this out and hopefully we can bring that other C64 back to life. Use this in because obviously this is a turn pin socket, so sometimes with these chips it can be a pain in the neck of the legs. They're a little bit wonky to get them in, so you don't want to fold anything over. That's it. You got to be careful when inserting them into these sockets, because you can easily just bend over a leg and that'll ruin your day. Okay, so will she fire up or won't she? And contact. Yep, that was it. Dodgy PLA. Who'd have guessed? I mean, that was a pretty easy fault to find. Surely because the yeah, that chip got so hot it could burn. It was burning me. It was painful to touch. And on these older boards, especially with these MOS chips, I mean, that is also a MOS chip, and they were well known for their failure rate. This is actually an older one, so the board, my other board, this is an 84, and the faulty one is an 85. Yeah, you can see it's also had the legs. I mean, yeah, that's pretty crusty board. So this is a later board, but it has that horrible. I don't think my other C64 has that horrible soldering on there on the underside. No. So this is an older board, but it's a lot nicer than that one. It's 407. Yeah, this is a 25407. This is a 25425. So why did they go from a better quality board, or it looks like a better quality board, and then go to yeah, this horrible, you know, solder over the traces there. Okay, so let's pop our SID chip back in and see if we're gonna get any sound. Okay, so yeah, this is 11th week 85, which pretty much ties in with the rest of the chips. Yeah, I think it's just an old socket. It's just a bit crusty. Let me just plug in my diagnostic cartridge. Always says the basic ROM is bad. I got no loopbacks on, so yeah. So there you have it. We have another rescued C64. What I'll probably try and do is get a PLA replacement for here. There's one that uses a couple of gals, and you know, I can drop that in there as a replacement, because yeah, this one is toast. Literally is toasty. So I'm glad that was a pretty simple fix, you know. And it doesn't have the horrid MT RAM. The other board that I took the PLA off, that did have the MT RAM on it, and guess what? It was faulty. Pretty much all of it. So yeah, whenever I see MT RAM in there, I just get rid of it. It's just hideous stuff. It fails all the time. Well, I'm going to get this cleaned up, give the case a good bit of a wash, you know, make it look a bit more presentable. Obviously this thing is pretty filthy. I mean, just look at that power switch. Yeah, it's a mess. So yeah, looks like they haven't been in, somebody hasn't been in here too often, or at least they were careful, because usually this gets pretty grotty because people touch it, and then the oil from their fingerprints kind of make a mess of it. It corrodes and goes black. But yeah, I'm glad that's not happened in this case. So as always, if you like this video, then give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me an Australian thumbs up. Consider subscribing. If you hit the bell icon, you'll get notified of when I upload new videos. As always, thank you for watching.